2. Consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures and portions of the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who plans to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. May I know who all are joining the call today?
हरे कृष्ण भगवती वसुधा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रतिदासी from Charlotte. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna Priti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Dakstas from Chicago. Hare Krishna and happy Ekadashi to everyone.
Hare Krishna Arvindas Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Prabhuji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Happy Ekadashi to you Prabhuji and happy Ekadashi to all of you Prabhujis and Matajis. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Happy Ekadasi to you, Mataji, and happy Ekadasi to everyone. Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago and happy Ekadashi to you and everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Yashamati Priya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, all glory Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumar Devidasi from Raleigh. Happy Ekadasi to everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you so much Mataji. This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from India. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. Now, this is Induleka Karna Devi Dasi from Nalkon, wishing everyone a very happy Ekadashi.
Hare Krishna Induleka Karna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. This is all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte and happy Ekadashi to everyone.
Hare Krishna Shyamagori Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Okay. I welcome all of you once again. Thank you everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are really fortunate to have His Grace Jaduthakur Prabhu to enlighten us on topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 7.15.79 onwards. Before I hand over the call to Prabhuji, I would like to hand over the call to Sundarangi Radha Mataji
Hare
for the
Krishna.
brief introduction and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to read the brief introduction about Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my pranam. Here is a
Please
brief introduction. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can I read Prabhu your brief introduction?
Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Here is a brief introduction about our today's speaker, His Grace Jaduthakur Prabhuji. Prabhuji is a brahmachari at Govardhan Eco Village. He has been practicing Krishna consciousness since his days at Mumbai University, studying electronics engineering. Prabhuji came to Krishna consciousness in 2003. Prabhuji got initiated by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2007. He has worked as software engineer in leading Indian companies. In 2010, he was sent to Govardhan Eco Village as part of the team to develop the vision of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj under the guidance of His Grace Gauranga Prabhu and His Grace Sanat Kumar Prabhu. He has served in various capacities at Govardhan Eco Village and is currently leading the Corporate Social Responsibility Department for Rural Development at Govardhan Eco Village. All glories to Prabhuji's all wonderful services. Thank you, Mataji, for giving me the opportunity. And now I will hand over the call to you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sundarangi Mataji. Thank you so much for that brief introduction. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept our humble obeisance of all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu,
Hare
for
Krishna
giving the
Mataji. Please
value.
accept my humble obeisances. All Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We are really fortunate to have you on this call. And I hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, can we should we start with Mangalacharan and then we can read the purport, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
What is the general flow of the class? Like, do you sing Radha Madhav or we can just start with Mangalacharan?
Usually start with Mangalacharan, but some devotees also sing Radha Madhav as per your wish, Prabhuji.
So we will just start with Mangalacharan. I am not a very great singer, so like that.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपां साग्रजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखानितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Matajis, for inviting. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 15th chapter, verse 79. And the verse is, Krishna partha upamantrya pujita prayayo munihi Shrutva Krishnam param brahma partha parama vismitaha. Word to word translation. Krishna, Lord Krishna, Partha, and Maharaj Yudhishthir, Upamantra, bidding farewell, Pujitaha, being worshipped by them, Prayayo, left that place, Munihi, Narad Muni, Shrutva, after hearing, Krishnam, about Krishna, Param Brahma, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Partha, Maharaj Yudhishthir, Param Vismitaha, became most amazed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Narad Muni, being worshipped by Krishna and Maharaj Yudhishthir, bade them farewell and went away. Yudhishthir Maharaj, having heard that Krishna, his cousin, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was struck with wonder. Purport: after hearing the conversation between Narad and Yudhishthir, if one still has any doubts about Krishna's being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should immediately give them up. Asamshayam samagram, without any doubt and without any defect, one should understand Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus surrender at his lotus feet. Ordinary persons do not do this even after hearing all the Vedas. But if one is fortunate, although it may be even after many, many births, he comes to this conclusion, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. Hare Krishna. Just a second. Okay? So first of all, thank you very much, everybody, for coming for this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. It is morning for all of you and early evening for us over here in India. So we are reading this 7th canto, 15th chapter, verse number 79. And so far, all of you have gone through all the, cantos. And so this chapter is named Instructions for Civilized Human Beings. And the verse that we have just read, it is the last verse, the second last verse of the last chapter of the 7th canto. So we are concluding the pastime of Sri Prahlad Maharaj with this chapter. So I thought, because it is the concluding verses and tomorrow will be the last verse for all of you. So I thought it will be nice that we can discuss a quick, summary of the entire 7th canto over here with all of you. And that will help us to recollect also what we have heard in the last, so many days, all the different speakers. And at the same time, it will be a quick recap actually, right? Am I audible? If there is anything, then please let me know. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
So,
Prabhuji.
yes. So, it is said, Pado yadiyo prathama dvitiyo tritiya turyo katithau yaduru nabhis tatha panchama eva sashto bhunjantaram dor yugalam tathanyo kanthastu rajan navamo yadiyo mukharavindam dashamah prafullan. Here, this verse talks about how the first and second cantos represent Sri Krishna's lotus feet. Third and fourth cantos symbolize his thighs. Fifth canto corresponds to his navel. Sixth canto corresponds to his chest. And seventh and the eighth cantos, they depict the arms of Lord. Ninth canto depicts his throat, 10th canto his beautiful face, and 11th canto corresponds to his forehead, and 12th canto to his head actually. So, the chapter that we have read, if we have been actively participating in our Srimad Bhagavatam classes, then we should understand that all the while that we were discussing the 7th canto, and in future when you will discuss the 8th canto, we are meditating on what of the Lord? On the hands of the Lord, on the arms of the Lord actually. And what do the arms do? Right? So it is said there are 10 topics that are covered in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam utayah manvantareshanukatha nirodho muktirashrayah. So, sarga, that is universal creation by the Lord. Visarga, secondary creation by Lord Brahma. Sthanam, position of living entities in various planetary systems. Poshanam, the Lord's protection for the devotees. Uti, inclination to act. Manvantara, the reign of Manus. Ishanukatha, the topics of Lord's various incarnations and his devotees. Nirodha, annihilation. Mukti, liberation. And Ashray, the supreme shelter of Lord Krishna. So this 7th canto corresponds to uti or inclination, right? So our acharyas, they explain. So 7th canto, we are talking about inclination. So our acharyas, they explain there are two types of inclinations. One is the auspicious one, and second is the inauspicious one. So the auspicious and auspicious inclinations of the jiva lead them to perform pious and impious acts, which will which will further decide their happiness and distress in various births actually, right? So in this particular canto, inauspicious inclinations are represented by the activities of Hiranyakashipu, right, which were caused by the anger of the four Kumaras who cursed Jai and Vijay, right? And the auspicious inclinations for pure bhakti are represented by Sri Prahlad Maharaj, which arose from the mercy of Sri Narad Muni. Right. So 7th canto describes. So if you see the 7th canto, it is divided into two parts. In the first 10 chapters of the 7th canto, right, where there is this it starts with the inquiry of Yudhishthir Maharaj and Narad Muni, Yudhishthir Maharaj inquiring from Narad Muni, right? So, first canto, 10 chapters of the 7th canto, they describe Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion, exemplified by Prahlad Maharaj. After practically the entire pastime of Prahlad Maharaj is over, then Yudhishthir Maharaj talks about two things. He inquires about two things. One is Sanatan Dharma and one is Varnashram Dharma. So very briefly, Narad Muni describes Sanatan Dharma, and then in these 5 chapters remaining, the Varnashram Dharma is described, in which we find the principles of Mishra Bhakti. Mishra Bhakti is mixed devotion, wherein we are blending. There is a blend of karma and jnana in bhakti. So it is called Mishra Bhakti. It is not pure bhakti. It is not bhakti which is, unalloyed. It is bhakti which has sometimes more or sometimes less tinges of karma or jnana. So if there is, more karma, then it will be karma Mishra Bhakti. But if karma is less and bhakti is more, then it will be bhakti Mishra Karma. Like this, same with Jnana also. Either it is Jnana Mishra Bhakti or Bhakti Mishra Jnana. Right? So, with this little bit background, we will start with the summary of the seventh canto. In this seventh canto over here, we are just a second. Yeah. So first, this seventh canto starts because so the connection with the sixth canto into the seventh canto is that Mother Diti is lamenting because Lord Vishnu has killed Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, in the form of Lord Varaha and Lord Narsimhadev. And then Parikshit Maharaj is intrigued by this because he thinks and he feels that Lord Vishnu is supposed to be impartial. So when he sees that Lord Vishnu has killed Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, Parikshit Maharaj is having a doubt. And he's saying, why is the Lord partial? And this particular question sets the tone for the entire remaining seventh canto actually. So then Shukadeva Goswami first of all clarifies the doubt of Parikshit Maharaj. He says that Lord is impartial and equal to all. But he says that depending on what is the time frame, what is the how the flow of Kala Chakra is moving, there will be sometimes demigods will flourish and sometimes demons will flourish. He says demons they will flourish when there is mode of rajogun and tamogun, and demigods they will flourish when there is sattvagun. But he clarifies that when even when the demons are being attacked, because that is a question, right? He of Parikshit Maharaj, that why is the Lord partial? Even when the demons are being attacked and killed by Lord Vishnu, actually it is auspicious for them because they are uplifted and they are given a higher destination actually. So to explain this point of how the Lord is impartial, Shukadev Goswami is quoting a conversation between Yudhishthir Maharaj and Narad Muni, which happens during the Rajasuya Yajna. If you remember the Rajasuya Yajna pastime, which is there in the Mahabharata, what happens is that Maharaj Yudhishthir in his kingdom of Indraprastha has organized a Rajasuya Yajna. And in that Yajna, Krishna is worshipped as the best of all men. And everybody endorses Krishna as the best of all men, except one person. And he is Shishupal. Right? So when Shishupal sees Lord Krishna is worshipped as the topmost of all, in fact, Yudhishthir Maharaj's aim of doing the Rajasuya Yajna was not to expand his influence over other kingdoms, but to prove to the entire world about the supremacy of Lord Sri Krishna. Seeing this, Shishupal, who was always envious of Lord Krishna, he started, blaspheming Lord Krishna. And as we know, the pastime that till 100 blasphemies Lord tolerated. But as soon as the 100th blasphemy was crossed, Lord Krishna took out his Sudarshan Chakra and he killed Shishupal. But what was more astonishing is after the killing of Shishupal, what happened is the soul of Shishupal in front of everybody. Yudhishthira Maharaj and everybody saw this. The soul of Shishupal left his body and entered into Lord's body actually. Right? And this astonished Yudhishthir Maharaj. And here Yudhishthir Maharaj is inquiring from how can somebody who is so degraded and has blasphemed Lord Krishna so much fall into this kind of a situation where he has got immersed into the body of Lord Shri Krishna. And so Narad Muni explains. So there is a conversation of Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. In that conversation, there is a conversation going between Yudhishthir Maharaj and Narad Muni. And in that conversation, there is a discussion happening where Narad Muni explains the story of the Kumaras and Jay and Vijay. Right? So in this pastime, Lord, it's a very interesting thing, how this whole pastime begins actually, wherein, the Kumaras who are actually Brahman realized and they are just going all across the universe. They are, just dressed in four directions. Nobody can stop them because, they are completely self-realized and situated in their Brahman thing. They cross the six gates of the Vaikunthas, and in the last gate, Jay and Vijay stop them. And when Jay and Vijay stop them, Kumaras get angry at Jay and Vijay, saying that although this place is a place of non-duality, but you both are into duality. So we curse you that you fall into the place of duality. Of course, both of them are terrified by this entire prospect. But just at that time, Lord comes to the rescue of Jay and Vijay, and we know that there is an option for both Jay and Vijay. Either they can have 7 lives of complete remembrance of the Lord, and three lives of complete hatred for the Lord. But Jay and Vijay, who are true parshads, they are true, intimate with the Lord. So they choose 3 lives over 7 lives, right? Or in complete intense hatred for the Lord, actually. And that is why sometimes, sometimes people may ask, so this seems to be a little easier way, blaspheming the Lord will be easier as compared to trying to love the Lord and then achieve Him. But actually, we should know that if you want to take that path, then you have to have the intensity like Hiranyakashipu, like Ravana, and like Shishupal and Dantavakra, actually. So the Kumaras have cursed it, and then so both the brothers, they have fallen to the material world, and we know Kashyap Muni, because of the force of Diti, he unites with her at an inappropriate time, and because of that, there is Diti has these two souls in her womb, but because of the presence of these two very, very powerful, associates of the Lord, who are now fallen down as demons, and Diti, who is holding them in her womb, she sees that just by being in their womb, they are they have begun to terrify the entire world, actually, right? And then first Hiranyaksha comes out, and then Hiranyakashipu comes out, actually. And then Hiranyaksha, as we all know, is killed by Lord Varahadev, and Hiranyakashipu is who sees, so there is in the first few chapters of the seventh canto. So it is all about lamentation of Hiranyakashipu and him trying to pacify his family over the death of Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyakashipu is so expert. It is very interesting how he is such a demoniac person, but when it came to giving solace to the family, he repeats practically, half of the Bhagavad Gita knowledge as it is in the seventh canto, first few chapters, actually. And then So this is very interesting that during the time of lamentation, even demons will pick up, philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. But their philosophy only, it is like Markat Vairagya actually. It is like Smashan Vairagya. It is only there for some time, till the time there is some, lamentation. But after the phase of lamentation, then they go back to their old ways. So during that time, even Yamaraj comes and then he shares the story of the Kulinga birds. And then Hiranyakashipu, out of anger for towards Lord Vishnu as to why he was being killed, Hiranyakashipu is, he goes to the, forest for doing very, very intense tapasya. And Hiranyakashipu, after many, many hundreds and thousands and millions of years of tapasya, his tapasya was so intense that it started to completely, create chaos in the entire world actually. And then, pleased by his such very intense tapasya, he was meditating on Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, although he knew that this person is a demon, but because he is one of the demigods, and his duty is whoever performs any austerity, he has to give him result. So Lord Brahma goes to Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu is completely covered in a mound of ant hill. And from there, so his entire body is emaciated, and it is just a skeleton of his body, but in that skeleton is the soul of Hiranyakashipu, which is ultimately the soul of Jay and Vijay. So then Hiranyakashipu, Lord Brahma is pleased by Hiranyakashipu, and because of being pleased, he says, "What do you want?" So over here, this is again, Hiranyakashipu tries an intelligent attempt to avoid death. So he says that, you give me a boon by which I will not be killed by any weapons, I will not be killed by any humans, any demons, any animal, any, either in space or on land or uh, or outside or inside by any weapon. So he gives a whole list to the Lord of all the things that how he should not die. And once he has all these power, Lord Brahma gives him this boon, then he becomes a classic example of misuse of power actually. And Lord, it is said that Hiranyakashipu, he terrified the world like never before, actually. As soon as he received the boon, first of all, he dethroned the entire demigod system, and he himself became the ruler of practically the entire universe. Everybody, including Narad, people like Narad Muni also, externally they were glorifying Hiranyakashipu. That was his power, and that was his, uh, influence in the world. But, and Hiranyakashipu's, his entire existence was always in two things, so just as his name says, Hiranya, that is gold, and Kashipu means soft bed. So he was always indulging in, enjoying opposite gender and in accumulating more and more and more gold. But it is very interesting over here, and this is a message for all of us. Although we may be very powerful, but as long as we are influenced by material nature, there will be something which will go on in our life which is beyond our control. And the same thing happened to Hiranyakashipu also. Although he was the ruler of the entire universe, as per his, and he was not just the ruler, but he was an absolute ruler. No ordinary ruler nowadays can change the, time when monsoon will come, or he cannot have the wind blow slow or fast. But Hiranyakashipu was such that he could tell sun god that reduce your temperature, I am feeling hot. He could tell wind that, blow faster, I want to enjoy a little, strong wind. He could tell, uh, you know, uh, other resources of Mother Nature to give without the land being tilled. He could tell, Mother Earth that, without tilling the land, he could give. And the land should produce, right? And then he destroyed the entire, Brahminical culture also. But although he was so powerful, although he was so-called controller, or rather the absolute controller of the entire world, still one thing did not go in his favor. And that is his son would not listen to him because his son was a pure devotee of the Lord. So Prahlad, when he came of age, he was sent to the school of Shanda and Amarka, who were the sons of Shukracharya Muni. He was the guru of the demons, actually. Although, and here this is very interesting actually, for all of us who are into the secular world. So Bhagavatam says Prahlad Maharaj certainly heard and recited the topics of politics and economics taught by Shanda and Amarka. But he understood that political philosophy involves considering somebody a demon, a friend or an enemy. And so he did not like it actually. And this is such a nice lesson that Prahlad Maharaj is giving all of us. Now, Prahlad Maharaj is a great pure devotee of the Lord. And so he can remain untouched. And he was able to understand actually. Similarly, as devotees, we may also be in a situation where we have to learn things which we generally don't like to, especially over here in India. The history that is taught to our kids is so perverted history. It does not talk about the glories of Sanatan. It does not talk about the culture of Sanatan Dharma. It talks more in an atheistic tone. It talks more in a tone of degradation to the Sanatan Dharma, actually. But it is our responsibility that although we may hear and for the sake of practicality, we may talk these things in certain circle, but internally we keep our heart aligned with the principles of the Srimad Bhagavatam actually. And Prahlad Maharaj did that. Of course, Prahlad Maharaj is a very powerful devotee, and we will see how when time comes, he speaks even in front of his deadly father, even at the cost of his personal life. We may not be able to do it, but at least whenever we are going into the secular world, we may hear things and principles which are averse to the principles of pure Krishna consciousness. In spite of hearing and sometimes reciting, writing exams and passing those exams, our heart should always be close to Krishna consciousness, actually. So, after some days at school, Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu, who was a very affectionate father, asked Prahlad Maharaj, what did you learn in school? And I'm sure you have heard this shloka. And Prahlad Maharaj, he does not mince his words. Prahlad Maharaj is not a person who gives JOSD. He speaks direct Bhagavad Katha, even to his atheistic father. And he says, Tat sadhu manye asuravarya dehinam sada samudvigna dhiyam sadgrahat hitvatmapatam grihamanda kupam vanam gatoyad harimashrayet. Prahlad Maharaj says, so first of all, he gives a adjective to his father. He says, O king of the demons. So he's glorifying his father. But then immediately he says, as far as I have learned from my spiritual master. So Hiranyakashipu is asking, what did you learn in school from Shanda and Amarka? But Prahlad Maharaj sticks to his principle that from what I have learned from my spiritual master, any person who has accepted a temporary body and temporary household life is certainly embarrassed by anxiety. because of having fallen in a dark well where there is no water but only suffering. And he says, Hitvatmapatam grahamandakupam. He says, we have fallen in this dark well where there is no water. Vanam gatoyad harimashrayet. One should give up this position and go to forest. And Srila Prabhupada says, more clearly, one should go to Vrindavan, where only Krishna consciousness is prevalent, and should thus take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as, so this is the first time that, Hiranyakashipu is talking to his son as to about his, school teachings and learnings. So immediately Hiranyakashipu laughs and he says, "Oh my God, my enemies, it seems that my enemies are coming as spies and they have destroyed and are trying to spoil my child actually." So he tells Shanda and Amarka that, please take care of my child. It seems that there are some demons who are coming in, and there are some demigods who are coming and preaching Krishna consciousness to my child. So after some days of training, Shanda and Amarka, they bring back Prahlad Maharaj to Hiranyakashipu. And this time, Hiranyakashipu is so overwhelmed with love for his son, Prahlad Maharaj, that tears are flowing from his eyes. He smells his head out of affection and he asks, "Tell me, my child, what did you learn in school?" And this time, Prahlad Maharaj is more heavy. Prahlad Maharaj says, "Smaranam padas Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktis Chennava Lakshana Kriyate Bhagavati Yata Tanmanye Adhitam Uttamam." And so Prahlad Maharaj has just spoken that if you want to perfect your life, you do Shravan, Kirtan, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. He has preached to Hiranyakashipu the 9 processes of devotional service. And when Hiranyakashipu hears this, he goes wild on Shanda and Amarka. He says, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you spoiling my child? How does he speak all these things?" And Shanda and Amarka, they challenge Hiranyakashipu. They say that, "Hiranyakashipu, please note, your child is automatically a devotee. He is hardwired and we are not teaching him all this." But so he chastises Shanda and Amarka and then he sends them back. Third time again. So then Shanda and Amarka, they chastise and they try to, train Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj is extremely, extremely, conscious of, humble in front of them, but he sticks to his Krishna consciousness actually. The third time again, Hiranyakashipu calls Prahlad Maharaj. And then he says, "What did you learn in the school?" And then again, this time, Prahlad Maharaj is taught on the spot. He's not doing any bridge preaching. He's doing direct preaching. He says, "Materna Krishne paratasvato va mitho abhipadyeta graha vartana padanta gobhe vishatanta mishram puna punastacharana punascharvita charvanana." He says, people who have uncontrolled senses, he's agitating Hiranyakashipu to the core. People who have uncontrolled senses, who are too addicted to personal materialistic life, they only make progress towards hellish conditions. And they are like people who are punascharvita charvanana. They are repeatedly chewing that which has been already chewed, meaning that they are trying to enjoy Krishna consciousness, which does not have any taste, but to try to extract some taste, they keep on chewing the chewed in the hope that there will be some taste, but their inclination towards Krishna is never aroused, either by instructions of the others or by their own efforts or by combination of both. Nate, and then Prahlad Maharaj said, Nate viduspartha gatim he Vishnum durashaya ye bahirarthamaninaha andha yathande rupaniyamanas te apisha tantrya murudam nibaddha. Says persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as the leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand the goal of life is to return back home, back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Krishna. Just like a andha yathandir upaniyamana, just like a blind man guided by another blind man miss the right path. Similarly, materially attached men lead other materially attached men into suffering, material life, and threefold miseries. And then, Prahlad Maharaj also says that those who are attached to my family life, they do not develop Krishna consciousness, either personally or collectively. Instead, they suffer repeated birth and death in this material world. And then Prahlad Maharaj explains the duty of all men is to take shelter of Krishna and become Krishna conscious. This was too much for Hiranyakashipu to handle. This is the third attempt in him trying to induce some demoniac consciousness into Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj is not budging at all. And Hiranyakashipu, he chastises Prahlad Maharaj and orders to kill him. But so he tries various ways. We all know the story. He tries to throw Prahlad Maharaj from a cliff. He tries to crush him with under the feet of elephant. Sister of Hiranyakashipu, she tries to kill Prahlad Maharaj by taking him on her lap and burning him. But all attempts of killing Prahlad Maharaj fail. In fact, forget about killing. Prahlad Maharaj is not even slightly endangered actually. So, but somehow Shanda and Amarka pacify Hiranyakashipu and bring Prahlad Maharaj into the school. Prahlad Maharaj remains as he is. So Shanda and Amarka, they try to explain political viewpoint to him, and Prahlad Maharaj this time goes one step further. He starts preaching to other kids of the demons. And he starts kirtan in his school. And when it comes to the notice of Shanda and Amarka, they feel that now this has gone way beyond us. We just cannot deal with Prahlad Maharaj anymore. And with that anger, they take Shanda and Amarka, they take Prahlad Maharaj in front of Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyakashipu, he's so angry at Prahlad Maharaj, and he says, Hey Durvinit Mandatman. So he says, Oh, you Durvinit, most impudent, Mandatman, most unintelligent, Kulabheda. You are disruptor of our family. Karadhama, you have violated my power to rule you. How? And he says, you are such an obstinate fool that I'll place you into Yamakshayam. I'll send you to the house of Yamraj. And then Prahlad Maharaj, and then he says, where do you get this strength from? And he says, Prahlad Maharaj says that I get my strength from where you are getting strength. And he says, the person who is giving me strength, Lord Vishnu, is the strength, is the source of even your strength, right? And he's the source of everyone. And without him, no one can get any strength, whether moving or non-moving, superior or inferior. Everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this was too much for Hiranyakashipu to handle. And he says, who is this Vishnu that you are always talking about? Is he everywhere? And then as we know, he challenges, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj, with full faith in Lord Narasimhadev, says, yes, he is. And with great anger, with his massive club, Hiranyakashipu smashes the pillar of his own palace. And Bhagavatam says, wanting to keep the words of his pure devotee, Lord Narsimhadev appears, Satyam Vidhatum Nijabhritya Bhashitam Vyaptim Cha Bhuteshva Akhileshu Chatmana Adrashyat Adbhuta Rupa Mudvahan Stambhe Sabhayam Namrigam Namanusham. Bhagavatam says, to prove the sentence of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial, was true, and to prove that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present everywhere, even within this pillar, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narasimhadev appeared in his wonderful form, which was never before seen, as a half man and half lion. As soon as Hiranyakashipu sees that, he is bewildered. He says, what is this person? Because there is a tumultuous roar that Lord Narasimhadev is roaring to protect his dear devotee Prahlad Maharaj. And everybody is just lost. And Hiranyakashipu is trying to somehow fathom as to what has just happened. And then he tries to, fight with Lord Narasimhadev. And then there is a nice battle between Lord Narasimhadev. But just like a lion will catch a wasp, in some time, Lord Narasimhadev, keeping all the promises that Lord Brahma had given to Hiranyakashipu, he brings him on the, on the door step of his palace, and with his nails, which are not weapons and which are not created within the system of Lord Brahma, his intestines are ripped apart actually. Lord Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki jai. And then, so after killing Prahlad Maharaj, so some acharyas, they say that Lord Narasimhadev, he was so angry, and he was, and then a lot of demons attacked Narasimhadev, and then Narasimhadev kills everybody. But after killing all the demons, Lord Narasimhadev, he wore the garland of the intestines of Hiranyakashipu. And some acharyas, they comment that Lord Narasimhadev is going through the intestine and checking the intestine of Hiranyakashipu. Why? Because acharyas explain that Lord Narasimhadev is checking that this Prahlad has come from the body of Hiranyakashipu only. So let me check if there is some another pure devotee who is there in this intestine. So like this, and Lord Narasimhadev is extremely angry. So one by one, all the demigods, from beginning from all the different lokas of the heavenly planets, the Kinnaras, the Yakshas, and Indra, Chandra, Surya, all of them, they offer prayers to Lord Narasimhadev. But Lord Narasimhadev's anger is not pacified actually. And then everybody is requesting Lakshmi Devi that you please, he's your husband, so you please pacify. And then Lakshmi Devi says, I have not seen this form of her. I am not going to go any near to Lord Narasimhadev. And then, Brahmaji says to Prahlad Maharaj that, Prahlad Maharaj, you please go and approach Lord Narasimhadev because he is angry because the demon tried to hurt you. So I think when you will go to him, Lord Narasimhadev will be pacified. And then with great humility, Lord Prahlad Maharaj is approaching Lord Brahma, and then he offers his prostrated obeisances in front of the Lord. And as soon as, and then he rises. And then as soon as, Prahlad Maharaj, just a second. As soon as Prahlad Maharaj is, goes in front of the Lord and pays prostrated obeisance, senses, Lord Narasimhadev is so pleased. Immediately his anger is pacified. And just like a lion is very loving to its cub, Prahlad Maharaj receives a very loving gesture where Lord Narasimhadev, he caresses Prahlad Maharaj's head with his hand actually. So he blesses Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj is completely purified. Of course, Prahlad Maharaj is completely pure, but still, Prahlad Maharaj is completely purified, Bhagavatam says, of any material inclinations, and he starts making beautiful prayers to the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj says, Brahmadaya Suragana Munayo Siddha Satvaikatana Gatayo Vachasam Pravahe Naraditum Muruganer Adunapi Pipru Kim Toshtumar Same Harirugrajate. So in this verse, Prahlad Maharaj is expressing his deep humility. He says, O Lord Brahmadaya Suragana. Starting from Lord Brahma, all these Suraganas who are deeply imbued in mode of goodness, they have offered you prayers. If their prayers are not able to satisfy you, then, O Lord, how can me, who has been born in such a demoniac family, can please you, O Lord? And then Prahlad Maharaj says that, O Lord, Manye Dhana Bhijana Rupa Tapashrutaujas Teja Prabhava Vala Paurusha Buddhi Yoga Naradhana Yahi Bhavanti Parasya Pumso Bhaktya Tutosha Bhagavan Gajayuthapaya. He says, O Lord, even if one possesses wealth, aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, all the material qualities, even if somebody has mystic power, these qualities cannot please you, O Lord. What pleases you is a humble prayer. How? Just like Gajendra did. Gaja Yuthapaya. He says. And then Prahlad Maharaj says, Viprad Vishad Gunayutadaravinda Nabha Padaravinda Vimukha Swapacham Varishtham Manye Tadarpitamano Vachanaihi Artha Pranam Punati Sakulam Natu Bhurimana. He says, O Lord, even if somebody is a Brahman who has all the qualifications of being a Brahman, but if he is not a devotee and is averse to Krishna consciousness, then he cannot deliver himself also, leave alone anybody else. But if there is a person who is a dog eater, but he has dedicated everything, his minds, words, activities, to the Supreme Lord, he is a better devotee than a Vipra, than a Brahmana with all the qualifications, all the Brahmanical qualifications. And he can not only purify himself, but his whole family he can purify. Right? So this is the statement that Prahlad Maharaj makes. And then Prahlad Maharaj says that, O Lord, Naivatmana Prabhurayam Nijalabha Purno Manam Janad Avidusha Karuno Prinite Yadyat Jano Bhagavate Vidadhita Manam Tachatmane Pratimukhasya Yatha Mukhashri. He says, O Lord, if there is somebody who is trying to glorify you, then it is only for his benefit that he will be, that his glorification will be. Just like he says, if I decorate myself in a mirror, I will look beautiful in the mirror. It's not that mirror is going to be beautiful, but I will look beautiful. Similarly, when we will, Prahlad is saying, when we will glorify the Lord, we will be purified. We will be advancing in Krishna consciousness, and that is our benefit. You don't have any benefit from there, O Lord. So like this, Prahlad Maharaj makes very, very beautiful prayers. And then, so Prahlad Maharaj, he speaks of, eagerness of shelter. He speaks of verses like, fear of conditional life, where he says that, "O Lord, if you do not protect your devotee, then a medicine cannot cure the patient, a boatman cannot take anybody across the ocean if you reject somebody." So, like this, very, very beautiful prayers are made by Prahlad Maharaj, and then he takes ultimate refuge in the Supreme Lord. Lord Narasimhadev is so pleased with Prahlad Maharaj that he, that he uh, asked Prahlad Maharaj, "Please ask me for a boon." And then Prahlad Maharaj says, "Oh Lord, I am not a businessman." And he says, "Oh Lord, I come from a very low class family. So please do not tempt me by these options. You please help me so that I may always remember you." And then Lord Narasimhadev says that still you ask for some benediction. And Prahlad Maharaj says, "Please forgive my father and liberate him." And Lord Narasimhadev says, "Because you are born in this family, you are, 21 generations of not only your father, but your forefathers, everybody, before and after, means those who have not come now so far, they are also liberated." And we see, because of this promise to Prahlad Maharaj, in the future, Bali Maharaj will be protected by Lord Vamandev. So, like this, very beautiful prayers are offered between, so it's a dealing of unmotivated servant and merciful master, right? So then, and like this, and then Lord Narasimhadev, he blesses Prahlad Maharaj to have a long life, and he blesses him that as long as you live, you will be the king of all the demons, actually. And then before going, Lord Narasimhadev warns Lord Brahma that henceforth don't give such benedictions to demons. And then Narasimhadev goes back to his abode, like that. So such, and then Bhagavatam says that even Brahma and Shiva cannot understand and describe the Supreme Lord's glories, actually. Right. And then, so here with this, the section of Prahlad Maharaj story is over. And then Narad Muni in the further, so this till now we discussed in very brief the first 10 chapters of the seventh canto. And then ahead of this sets the tone for the remaining 5 chapters of the seventh canto, wherein Yudhishthir Maharaj is speaking to Narad Muni and asking him to explain 2 topics, Sanatan Dharma and Varnashram Dharma. So Narad Muni explains how Sanatan Dharma is the eternal religion of living entity, and it is to satisfy Supreme Lord Hari by performing bhakti. And then he describes a lot of qualities of devotees, and then he describes the Varnashram Dharma, wherein he describes the occupational duties and characteristics of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. And then he also describes the responsibilities of brahmacharis, grihastha, vanprastha, and sannyasis, actually. And so like this, this whole discussion comes to an end, and which brings us to this particular chapter, wherein at the last, when the discussion between Narad Muni and Yudhishthir Maharaj is completed, so Yudhishthir Maharaj tells that how Lord Krishna, he is being worshipped by all of you, and Yudhishthir Maharaj was struck that how Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and we get so much close, intimate association of Lord Krishna. And then Srila Prabhupada in the purport says that after hearing this entire conversation between Narad Muni and Yudhishthir Maharaj, we should not have an iota of doubt regarding the supremacy of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, actually. And Srila Prabhupada says that we should destroy this doubt through the process of hearing and understanding Krishna in the association of devotees, so that we can perfect our life and go back home, back to Godhead, like this. So this is in short what I had to discuss about this particular verse. I hope I made sense. Sometimes it is very difficult because most of the video is closed. So if there is any discussion that we can do, if there's any question answer, we can discuss. I am very thankful to you for giving me this opportunity and very grateful to you for tolerating me in spite of my inability to serve. Uh, I am extremely, extremely grateful for this opportunity. So maybe over to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this very wonderful overall overview of this full section of Nrsimha Leela. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And dear devotees, I request if you have any questions or comments, you can raise your hand or you can ask now.
If there are no questions, maybe we can
Hare Krishna.
wind up.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class and very nice recap you give for the whole canto, what we learn in like last, I think 6-7 months we are doing this canto. Now we are so excited to start the 8th canto. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Wonderful
Krishna.
class,
Hare
and
Krishna.
please come again, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so you let me know. We can stay in touch over WhatsApp. And I'm sorry for you wanted some information about me, but I was traveling, so it took some time. But very, very grateful to you. We'll be happy to serve you in the future.
Yeah, our format is like we make the poster for every class, and that's why we need picture, and we read the introduction about the speaker.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So as Mataji said, we will look forward for your association in the future also. And some Matajis are putting their comments, thanking you, Prabhuji, for this wonderful overview. And if okay, we will end the call and pay obeisances to all. I will pay obeisances.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय जय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय
राधे राधे
Jai. Thank you,
जदुताकुर
Prabhuji.
प्रभु जी की जय थैंक यू प्रभु जी
Jai.
हरे कृष्णा
Gauranga.
राधे राधे